Let's take a look at this slide. This gives us an overview of the valid patterns. And notice the ones on the left are the predicate logic patterns, the one that we're already familiar with, and the ones on the right are the ones that we're going to learn now. But I just wanted you guys to see it because I wanted you to see that there are analogies between these two. I mean, the first predicate logic, valid inference, all A's are B's, X is an A, X is a B. Sometimes some people refer to that as a direct inference, a forward inference. The idea of forward, all A's are B's, X is an A. The conclusion, therefore, X is a B. And we're going to see in propositional logic has a similar kind of format for conditional inferences. If P then Q, P, therefore Q. Going from left to right, if P then Q, the one on the left is true, therefore the one on the right is true. We're going in the direct way from the antecedent to the consequent. In both cases, we can call these direct inferences. Now, in the indirect inferences, indirect means they're going to have a negation in it. We see on the predicate patterns over here, all A's are B's, X is not a B, therefore X is not an A. So we're going indirect. We're going in the indirect way, not directly there, but rather we're going from all A's are B's, X is not an A, but we're going in the negative direction, the indirect. So we conclude X is also not an A. Similarly with conditionals, if P then Q, not the second one, therefore not the first. Now both of these and the third, these are the valid ones. These are the good forms of inference. They're all truth guaranteeing. They are valid inferences. And the final one, if we take a look at all A's are B's, all B's are C's, therefore all A's are C's. You should remember why that's a good inference. Be able to give me an example to convince yourself. But if you think it's kind of reasoning in a chain, and the same thing we see, well, there's a chained inference with if-thens. If P then Q, if Q then R, therefore if P then R. So we can chain the inferences together. Good inferences. In the case of the propositional calculus, the first one's known with this Latin name as modus ponens, the way of affirming, they might say. That is, going in the affirmative direction. If P then Q, I'm affirming the antecedent, I get the consequent. It's sometimes called affirming the antecedent. Modus tollens, it's the way of denying. So if P then Q, I'm denying Q, therefore what I can conclude is that P isn't true, I'm denying P. And the chained inference is something called, what a syllogism is, hypothetical syllogism. If P then Q, let me back up, you should remember a syllogism, an argument that has two premises and a conclusion. Hypothetical one, it has to do with if-thens, conditionals. If P then Q, if Q then R, therefore if P then R. All good forms of inference, valid inferences.